You know, I'm always excited about something, y'all. But I'm super excited to let y'all know I got a message from the corporate office of my publishers of Cooking with Paula Deen magazine. And they have given me the authority to offer Paula Deen magazine for sale at 70% off, y'all. It's $17.99 for a year's subscription. A year's subscription. And I'm thinking, what a great teacher's gift, what a great Sunday school teacher's gift, what a great gift to mama or daddy, or you can't beat it, y'all, for that amount of money. $17.99 for a full year's subscription. So I'm going to just let y'all know that at the bottom of this video, there will be a link, and you can check out the magazine in case you're looking for a gift or would just like to sit down. You know, I know millennials and people right above millennials, you know, they do everything electronically. But there's a lot of us out here that still like to be able to hold that paper in our hand and lay it down and then go back and refer to it later. And I'm one of those people.
Me too.
So I hope y'all will check it out. And if you decide to give it as a gift or gift it to yourself, I hope you enjoy it. And I really think you will. It's pretty good. All right. So the first thing I'm going to make today, y'all, is Sloppy Joe Pockets. This is really like, excuse me, there's all kind of frogs in my throat. And you know what frogs do, don't you? They pee and cause warts. Maybe I got a throat full of warts. So anyway, this is really one for the children, because you know kids just like things like this. And so I'm going to start with a pound of ground beef.
What are you making?
I told them that I was making Sloppy Joe Pockets. Isn't that right?
Did she say Sloppy Joe?
She was not paying attention, y'all. She was not listening.
I was just making sure.
So let's see. We're going to drain this. And but before we drain it, I'm going to go ahead and add my bell pepper. And you know, if you've got picky eaters and they don't like bell pepper but say they like celery. Well, if they don't like celery, how about some water chestnuts? Maybe they'd like those. All right, so got a tad of sugar, 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. I don't know why we're even wasting our time with 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. 3/4 of a teaspoon of garlic salt. So I'm thinking we're gonna need a little, just a little bit of salt on down the road. So there we go. I won't bore you with browning this meat. And y'all can grab you a cup of coffee or a glass of water. Okay, everything is nice and browned and scrambled up. Now I'm just gonna drain it. Teresa says that she picked up a 90-10 ground beef.
Oh, look, 90-10 does it.
So it still had a good bit of stuff in it. But we got most of it. So now we're gonna stir in 6 tablespoons of tomato paste and 1 can of tomato sauce. And we are using a 15-ounce size can. And then we're going to have to let this cool, or we would burn ourselves trying to stuff pockets with this hot stuff. And you know, to me, the wonderful thing about this dish, y'all, is after we get the pockets put together, you can put them on a cookie sheet, put them in the freezer, freeze them, and then you can put them in a freezer bag. You don't have to wrap them up individually because you are going to have an IQF, which is individually quick frozen product. So you'll be able to grab out just 1 or 2 or 3, whatever you want, because this is going to make, how many is this going to make? It says makes 24, but this is not going to make 24 because I'm not doing a large pocket.
You mean you're not doing small pockets, you're going to make them a little bit larger.
Yes, I'm not doing small pockets, that's right. That's what I meant.
We'll be lucky if we get 6 with the way you make it.
Yeah. You know, it'd be perfect for Davis and the triplets and Maddie Mae and even Bennett, you know, to make them small like a... All right, now I know this is going to need more salt because I think it called for half a teaspoon. Not bad. All right, so we're going to let that cook for a few minutes, then we're going to cut it off and let it cool, and then we're going to stuff the pockets, y'all. Yum. Yum, yum. All right, the most difficult part about these Sloppy Joe pockets is trying to decide what size you want to make them. Now, I've done 3 different sizes right here. And I actually think that I want to make them. Let me bring me some more flour up here. I think I actually want to make them maybe a little bigger. Not like an appetizer size, but big enough for the children to eat. Now, if they're still not big enough for you, you can take your rolling pin and roll them out and make them a little bit bigger. So how about that? All right, now you will want to take some water and go around your edges because you want them to stick. You want your edges to seal. Because you don't want your stuff coming out of them, you know what I mean? So I'm going to put, I'll try a tablespoon, but that might be a little too much. I'm going to take some of it back. And my fingernails are tearing it up. All right, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Cheese goes in.
Oh, I forgot about the cheese. That's good, because I'm going up another size, y'all. Because I don't want to have to roll them out, because it's going to make them so thin that stuff's going to come. Huh?
I would have made them bigger than that.
Yeah. Well, I think they're supposed to be more like an appetizer size, but I don't want an appetizer size. That still looks so little, doesn't it?
Don't you have one more size bigger?
Yeah. They get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Go with the largest.
I mean,
Yeah, but by the time you fill it and fold it,
Yeah.
it's not going to be much.
Well, you know what I was thinking about, because I was talking to you about this earlier. I would almost prefer to, instead of making them in empanada shapes, this is what I think I would prefer to do, and I'll show you what I'm thinking.
Cheese.
Yeah, thank you. Cheese. Cheese.
Oh, I like that idea where you just, and then you put it on top.
I think I would prefer to do them that way. I mean, I like the way an empanada looks, but, you know, if it's hard to get anything in a moon shape one. All right, so you want to take your fork and fork it. And I'm not gonna bake all these off because I'm gonna put these in the freezer. So when the grandkids come, I can pull these out and bake them off and have them ready in just a few minutes for them. So that's my plans. But it looks fine like that. It looks like a little pie. But I'm gonna have to get on up there to fold it over, you know. All right, so, and we have eggs. So when I get ready to bake them, if these are going in the freezer, I would eliminate this step. But before you bake them, you want to brush them with butter, and that will make that crust shiny and pretty. But that's it. Let's see, we're going to put these in the oven, and we're going to bake them, I can't remember, about 20 minutes. You're just going to bake those until they're brown. And
are we gonna bake any of these off, or are we gonna freeze off?
Oh yeah, no, I'll bake some off. But the size I'm making them, it ain't gonna make enough to freeze
We
probably.
can actually cook them in the air fryer.
Yes, Cloud does hers in the air fryer sometimes, or do them at last night. She fried them in, you know, in the skillet. So it worked out great, and they love them. They love them.
Well, you want to finish? We'll finish off making those, and then we'll come back.
Yes. And show our 6. Because oh no, I've got 4. Because the recipe calls for 2 boxes of pie crust. Okay, I'm brushing our little empanadas with butter, and that will make them have a nice golden shiny crust. And these are going to go in the oven for about 20 minutes. And I don't know which way I like the best. This was definitely easier, having a top and a bottom. But empanadas are supposed to have a certain look, and that's what they're supposed to look like, right? So, in my head. Okay, Therese.
You ready?
Ready, Teddy.
I'm coming.
20 minutes.
Perfect.
I think the kids are going to like these empanadas. Some of them I just feel so full, they just burst it open. Let's see. I love pie crust. And now remember, what I told you about putting these raw on a cookie sheet, put them in the freezer, and let them freeze, and then you can just throw them in a freezer bag. And you've got IQF empanadas, IQF individually quick frozen. You can pull out as many as you need. And I think they're really good. And I think the kids would have fun eating them. And this was a recipe from the magazine, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I thought. And right now, I've got a special, a year subscription for $17.99, y'all. That's 70% off newsstand price. So if you want to give somebody a gift, or just if you're like me and like to have something that you hold and look at and go back and look at it again, check it out. There's a link at the end of this video. So I hope y'all will check it out, and I hope you'll make these empanadas, because there's a trillion more good recipes in the magazine besides Sloppy Joe empanadas.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.